Beyond Bitcoin Hangouts are meant to give everyone a voice, a chance to speak with others who are passionate advocates for expanding the blockchain's use cases out into the world and beyond. Do you have a crypto community you would like to represent and hold open hangouts for? If so, you might find yourself on the path to owning a stake in Beyond Bitcoin. We are looking for people who care about people who want to bring others together, because crypto communities are people. Beyond Bitcoin is a movement of thinkers and doers in the crypto space. And if you feel you are one of them, reach out to beyondbitcoin@gmail.com for more information on how to debut your community's efforts to reach to the stars and beyond. Welcome to another Beyond Bitcoin Hangout. Today is Friday, May 6th, 2016. We join together every week with a bunch of crypto advocates who are working on various projects in the space. We would like to start out with this format. It's changed slightly from the past formats, but not too much. With that said, the format goes as such. If you have a project that you would like to speak up about and give any updates on, this is the perfect place to do so. However, before we start on that, what I like to do is allow anybody who is wanting to talk about a project or wanting to participate today to introduce themselves and let us know about any projects that they're working on or that they care about that they would like to plug if they're not working directly for a project. So with that said, I'll start out and I'll say my name is Fuzzy. I have been running the Beyond Bitcoin Hangouts for a little bit under 3 years now. Bringing these community members together has been something that I've loved to do. And you guys have formed a very real foundation in my mind of the crypto advocates that we want to have at the grassroots level to bring blockchain technology to the world. I also am working with something called ShareBits.io, which enables people to use the BitShares blockchain to send various tokens that are traded on the exchange to anybody who has access to the internet or social media. So with that said, does anybody want to go next?
This is Dan Lermer. I'm the founder of BitShares and Steem. I guess I'll just leave it at that.
Sounds good.
I'm Maurizio. I work with BitShares Muni, and I worked with BitShares Muni to create a sort of simple trading bot to provide liquidity on markets that are going to be used by their smart coins point of sale systems.
Can you spell that?
I spell what?
BitShares Munich.
Yeah. Oh, I can type it.
It's the liquid bot. It's LIQBOT.
Yeah, our liquidity bot. What it stands for.
Okay. Thank you very much, Moritz.
Right.
Anyone else have any projects that they would like to talk about or any introductions that they would like to give?
Can you hear me okay, Fez?
Perfectly, Ken.
Yeah, this is Kencode. I'm with BitShares Munich, and we're doing a number of different projects. Multiple smart coins POS systems that allow any merchant to accept any crypto at zero cost. We're also doing multiple mobile wallets, and we're also heading up the Echo project at my-echo.com. So got a lot in the works.
Awesome. So you guys have a lot of irons in the fire.
All right. I'd like to just take a quick moment to talk about some of the cool things that the synergy between Steem and BitShares. If you haven't checked out steemit.com, please check it out. You can now create an account and get about $3 or $4 worth of Steem for free. All you need is a Facebook account to log in. Now, one of the things that we've observed is that a lot of the projects that we're talking about here on Mumble are posting their announcements when Block Trades adds a new trading pair, it posts. When Kencode does his mobile wallets and other things, making some really great posts, and it's getting upvoted to the tune of thousands of dollars worth of Steem at this point. So it appears that by participating on Steemit, it's possible to raise money for funding things that benefit BitShares. So if you look at the total amount that Steemit has awarded to BitShares related posts, I wouldn't be surprised if it was more than BitShares has paid out in all worker proposals combined. And Steemit is still a baby. So there's lots of incentives to come and get involved and help support Steemit. There's a lot of synergy. I would really like to see the BitShares community move the forum and the discussion over to the BitShares topic, which is a whole category just for BitShares, on Steemit over time as the platform matures. I think it would be a great way to bootstrap a community. There's a lot of synergy between the two projects. Everything that bugs get fixed for Steem, they benefit BitShares. But there's a networking bug that we're looking into for the seed nodes, and that's going to benefit both projects. So I'm just really excited about how well the two are playing together. That said, when you come over to Steemit to talk about BitShares, it's important to help the platform grow, to talk about more than just one project, and to be kind and respectful toward everyone else on the platform. The broader we can make the platform appeal, the more people we can reach, the greater impact we can have on the world.
So just, from the Beyond Bitcoin perspective, I know I've been looking at Steem, and I've been thinking to myself how many different communities out there might have similar struggles in terms of funding a lot of the projects that they would like to fund. But this seems to me like it offers an opening for people from other crypto communities too to join up and produce their own content and release their own press releases on Steem. And I would be able, as a Beyond Bitcoin lovers, a person who actually likes to think beyond just the basic blockchain technology use cases, that I would have a very real incentive to upvote those, and others might as well if they are part of this entire community. So there might be a way to fund projects or help at least get some funding for them by posting just to Steem, correct?
The best way to make money on Steem is to post original content, original ideas. You can either describe things that you're doing to benefit mankind, the world, like BitShares is something that is helping to decentralize exchanges and solve those problems. Point of sale systems, obviously things that directly benefit the Steem network have higher benefits. So if there's any way at all your project can integrate with what's going on with Steem, that's a bonus. But original content, post it to Steem first and share the links to Steem. Those types of things help boost the profile of the site. And the higher the profile of the site, the more value the Steem has, the higher the rewards get. Everyone benefits when we all work together to build this common platform for sharing information. And right now, when we dilute our efforts between 20 different forums, the BitShares forum, Bitcoin Talk, the Ethereum forum, Reddit. It's dividing that. But if we came together and all built on one platform, the value would grow and we'd all have greater resources with which to change the world.
I'm really excited to sort of watch how this whole subjective value proposition unfolds. I've noticed just in the past few weeks of watching sort of which posts tend to accumulate very quickly and which ones don't, and I haven't come up with any real theories about it yet, because there's this phenomenon that's happening where sometimes I saw a post that was rock cairns, a rock stacking competition, which was really cool. These people were taking all of these stones and stacking them on top of each other vertically and taking pictures of them. That these are guys that do this, and it's like this meditative exercise or whatever. But I looked at it and I was like, yeah, that's really cool. I like that and everything. Well, this particular post had earned significantly more. I mean, it was in the top 2 or 3 percentile of earnings right now at this particular stage. And I thought, that's interesting. Like, what a random thing for everyone to get excited about. So I would say, I guess I'm saying this sort of as a compliment or a response to what you mentioned, Bytemaster, about what are the best things to post on Steem. I don't think that, I think anything can be posted on Steem ultimately in terms of
Yes.
value. It's not just I posted an article that I wrote a few weeks ago, and I got a good response from it, and it was a little more of a technical article, and it had to do specifically with Graphene. So I thought, this would be great. Steem's built on Graphene. I'll post an original article on Graphene, and everybody will look at that and go, great, good, value added. And so I did that, and again, I was happy with the response. But then I scrolled through the pages and I saw some other random things that were just like, whoa, that's a very simple little post. It doesn't really have much on it. I was thinking, where did this come from? Why is everybody so excited about this? And so anyway, that's I guess I just wanted to comment on that aspect of it, which is that it's unlimited in a lot of ways. You can go on and we're sort of developing this as we speak in terms of I think promoting and getting people to come to the site, and one of the things that we did for the project I'm working on yesterday is we published a white paper and we published it on Steem, and then we linked to that white paper on Steem in all of the rest of the sort of promotional material we're doing. And so I think little things like that to get people to come and look at the platform and see what it is, and have it sort of click in their mind that this is directly integrated with a cryptocurrency and on a blockchain. I think things like that are going to go a long way towards getting this to click in people's minds.
Keep in mind that at this point in time, there's only a couple hundred users on Steemit, so the sample size isn't necessarily big enough to even out some of the apparent discrepancies. So if you see something that you think is valued way out of proportion, a lot of those things will change. Right now, all payouts are tentative, which means that as more people submit things, it's going to dilute the existing payouts between now and July 4th. After July 4th, depending on the market cap, there could be several $1,000s a day awarded. But right now it's sort of in this bootstrapping phase where there's about $2 million to be divided among all the posts. So it's a great opportunity to come and provide original content, but more importantly, a place to build community. And we're really working to enhance the platform. Right, what you see now is not where it ends. It's very, very early in our grand vision. But together, we can do what we're already doing on the other forums like BitShares Talk, and we can just do it better. And in turn, help fund the things that we're interested in. I don't want to monopolize this whole mumble with talking about Steem. but I did think it was worthwhile to point out how the project is having synergistic benefits to the BitShares ecosystem.
It certainly, you can see that, and I will definitely say that I appreciate that we are going to leave some room in here for anybody else to speak up. Crypto, speaking regarding this, you mentioned the project, and that's Peerplays currently, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I'll go ahead and introduce myself, and then I'm going to pass it off to Jonathan Bahai, who is the one of the leads on the project. My name's Michael Maloney, aka Cryptoprometheus. I am the communications advisor and lead on the Peerplays project. Peerplays is a decentralized, provably fair gaming platform that is currently being built on the Graphene toolkit. And this morning we have just recently, as of 40 minutes ago, launched a preliminary crowd sale for tokens on that network. And so I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Jonathan, and he can introduce himself and tell you more about the crowd sale.
Sounds good.
Good day, everybody. Yeah, so that was Michael. Just to introduce myself again, my name is Jonathan Bahai. I'm the president of Bunker Chain Labs Incorporated, which is leading up the Peerplays project. And the crowd sale has just started, and we have launched the website at peerplays.com. Basic information is available up there. We've released the white paper, which details what Peerplays is all about and the innovations that it brings. And we've also launched a new explainer video that goes over the details of Peerplays and what it will be able to do for the industry. We have links at Bitcoin Talk thread, social media links there as well. Excuse me.
Did you win your first bet? I'm assuming that's a yes. He's most likely dancing around the bunker after winning thousands of dollars.
It kind of sounded like...
Sorry, I'm manning the live support as well, and I have people coming in saying, we want to, I have all kinds of questions coming in, but people are already, contributing to the crowdfund as we speak, actually. So that was just another live support request. Anyways, so the crowd sale is going on. What we're doing is we are doing a preliminary with just 20% of the Peerplays tokens right now, and it's a two-tier sale. So the first 100,000 tokens will be for $2, and then the next 100,000 tokens will be for $3. So those that buy in early are getting them at a really good price. There's a really simple process on the website on how to be able to donate. We are accepting only Bitcoin and BitUSD. Those are the only things that we are accepting right now. When you go into the site, you'll be able to there'll be instructions on depositing your Bitcoin automatically, and for the process for BitUSD, it's a little bit more manual, but we're accepting that as well. Also, there is live chat, as mentioned a second ago, on the website. So if you need some help, there's always somebody there who's going to help you along if you need help. We have an awesome development team. This development team basically is it's like a dream team to be able to make Peerplays happen. There is myself, Jonathan Bahai, and I'm the business development and lead on the project. Neil Haran, who is on board as the member for the esports and gaming partnerships. And he's got a lot of insider industry connections. So he's going to be very strategic in terms of bringing Peerplays forward. Sorry. And we also have Dan Nonstein and his team at Block Trades, who's the technical lead Graphene developer on the project. We have Fabian, who is known as Xerox, who is also our technical consultant, who is assisting in Peerplays. Michael, as mentioned, he is our communication specialist. There's Chris Coney. He is the marketing and the video making guy. If you look at the explainer video, he's the person that put that video together. Awesome work. And we have Ed Hall, who is the web designer, who created the website that you see right now at peerplays.com. So we are going to be moving forward with the development of Peerplays. The actual code is going to be live in approximately 3 to 4 months. That's going to be a live testnet, so you'll actually be able to see Peerplays operational on that testnet, and that is when it will be public. We're going to be now moving forward. We're going to be giving updates on what happens. Weekly, we're going to be hosting shows, myself and Michael, that give updates on Peerplays and talk about the various elements of what it's going to be able to do and what it means to the gaming industry. We also are going to be we also have Chris Coney, who is going to be putting together a series of answered and question videos, frequently asked questions basically, and promotional videos that are going to help give more information on Peerplays. And for the time being, we have the official Peerplays thread at BitShares Talk, but it's very likely that we're going to be moving that all over to Steem quite soon. And so right now, over the next few weeks, we're finalizing. We're sitting down with the devs and finalizing milestones so that we can make those public as well. So if you have any questions or you want to get in touch with us, go to peerplays.com. Like I said, the live chat is available on there, and you can reach us through that. At Bitcoin Talk, you can reach me at bunkerchain.labs.inc. And you'll see me in our thread there as well, replying to questions. BitShares Talk, you know me as Bunker Chain Labs. And of course, if you want to do the old-fashioned email, you can reach us at powerup@peerplays.com. So that's all the updates I have right now on Peerplays. I highly encourage you to check out everything we've published. We've got an awesome white paper, as was mentioned. It's worth nearly $13,000 on Steem right now. So nice. Certainly upvote that if you like it. And also I highly encourage everyone to join us in our social media outlets, Facebook, Google, Twitter. We'll be doing more updates on there as well. We'll be holding the hangouts, like I said. So very excited. This is very exciting. I mean, in the time that I've been sitting here giving this update, I'm just watching all these donations pouring in, and I'm just taken aback, and I'm very thankful to everybody who is helping to contribute on this project.
Awesome. Well, real quick, just so everybody knows, it is going to be available for them to donate, but they can also, if they're not familiar with Steem yet, they can make an account on Steem and they can upvote the updates and the white paper that you guys posted. And help fund the project that way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a Steem is brand new, and the fringe benefits are sort of unfolding as we speak. So absolutely, that would be a wonderful way to support us as well. We may end up taking the Steem any money we make on Steem. We've kind of been throwing around the idea of hosting some tournaments, sponsored tournaments right away, and giving back that to the community in the form of tournament jackpots and things like that. So, but there's going to be more. We'll have more information on that as we develop and as the plan unfolds. But I guess I'll take the talking stick from Jonathan here, because I know he's probably frantically answering 3 or 4 help questions simultaneously. Excuse me. And so if it's okay, Fuzzy, unless you've got something else you want to add to move forward, I wanted to get into a little bit one of the main questions that we've had over this last week. So just to recap, we had a little pre-launch announcement on this show on Beyond Bitcoin last Friday, and we went over sort of a basic overview of the platform. Got into a little bit of detail. This was, of course, before we released the white paper, and nobody had really had a chance to look at any of the information. So I would encourage you all once again to go check that out. But I'm going to talk a little bit today about how you can make money on Peerplays. So that's what everybody wants to know, and that's a very good question. And there are a number of different really exciting opportunities that I want to share with you guys. So at the top of the list, this is what's going to set Peerplays apart from everyone else, any platform that exists right now, and that is that the core token holders of Peerplays will receive regular profit sharing payouts from all of the network fees that are charged on the Peerplays network. So there's a number of different fees, and I'm not going to go into all of where those fee points are. Like BitShares, the committee itself is going to have the ability to toggle a lot of those fees and set them for more, most of the operations. However, the main draw is the ability and the feature which will allow the Peerplays network to charge a rake fee, which is a percentage of a jackpot, percentage of jackpots that are being paid out for tournaments. And that rake fee will be split through a smart contract and distributed at regular intervals to the accounts of the holders of core Peerplays tokens. So it's
Continue.
yeah. So we have Peerplays for those of you who are familiar with BitShares FBAs, fee-backed assets, which is a feature on BitShares right now. We are taking that model and extending it essentially to the entire network. So so that's really exciting. That's kind of a core feature that everything else revolves around. So I'm going to move forward here and tell you about the other ways that you'll be able to make money on Peerplays. So playing games, games, sponsor or on-chain games. Peerplays will have a number of on-chain games, which are games that are actual. They're smart contracts on the blockchain, built into the blockchain. The sort of basic model will be buy-ins. Everyone throwing into a buy-in jackpot. So if you have 12 players. And everyone wants to play in a tournament for a game. Everyone throws in a buy-in, and those buy-ins are all combined, and that gets locked away in a smart contract. And the game happens, and then the smart contract sends those funds to the winner, minus the rake fee. And then that rake fee gets distributed through the network. So I hope that makes sense in terms of. I hope I explained that clearly enough. So winning jackpots, and you will also receive something called power-up points. Now, power-up points are going to be the coin of the realm, I think we'll call it. They're basically the rewards tokens for Peerplays, which will be tradable on the exchange. Peerplays will have an internal exchange similar to BitShares. And the power-up points will be awarded based on a number of different algorithms that we're developing that will have to do with such things as win-loss records and amounts wagered and things like that. But power-up points will be the points, or the only buy-in token that will be accepted for something called mega jackpot tournaments. So this is another really sort of exciting aspect of Peerplays that sets it apart from a lot of different projects out there right now. Mega jackpot tournaments are tournaments that are sponsored by the network itself. So we talked about rake fees already. Those rake fees are split up in a number of different directions. A portion of them goes to the holders of the Peerplays core tokens. A portion of them goes to network maintenance. The committee can have a network maintenance account, which is similar to BitShares, that can be used for bug fixes and things like that. And the third place that the fees are distributed to is a mega jackpot. We're calling it, I guess, just the mega jackpot virtual account. And that virtual account, those funds won't be, no one will have the private keys to those funds, but there will be a smart contract that distributes those funds periodic mega jackpot tournaments. So that virtual account collects all of the fees, and once it gets to a certain threshold, then tournaments can be launched with on-chain games, and players can buy in with their power-up points and play in large jackpot for large jackpots that are sponsored by the network itself. So that's a third way to play games. And then the fourth way to play games is third-party sponsored games, jackpot specifically. So third parties will be able to, gaming partners and even large companies that want to sponsor esports gaming tournaments and things like that. A lot of the large esports tournaments, gaming tournaments, are sponsored by corporations and things. They can actually create custom tournaments and supply the jackpot, and they get registration codes where everyone can register, and then that jackpot is distributed automatically through that smart contract. So those are all the ways in which players can earn playing games. Now, sponsors or third-party tournament hosts have a number of different ways that they can make money, and there's a number of different business models for Peerplays for sponsors. So for the first one, the basic sort of framework for this is sponsors will be able to run hosted wallet portals or plug into the Peerplays blockchain through the Peerplays API, similar to the way for example, OpenLedger plugs into BitShares through the BitShares API, and even CryptoFresh.com is another example of a website that displays the information on the blockchain database in a unique way. So that will be possible through hosted wallet portals. And so third parties can build tournament hosting sites and offer server-side tournament hosting. So a lot of these games, more complex games, are not going to be programmed directly into the blockchain. A lot of them are proprietary. We wouldn't be able to program them in even if we wanted to. But more importantly, there's a lot of moving parts in these, MMGs and RPGs and these big graphics intensive games. And so server-side hosting is an accepted model, a trusted model in the esports tournament space. And so we are able to offer that to third-party tournament hosting sites while they can still use Peerplays as their payment processing network. So they can allow players to wager tokens on the blockchain and handle all of the wagering through the blockchain, so they don't have to essentially operate a site that's offering payment processing for wagering or gambling. So it's they will just host the sites, and the players will plug in and use the Peerplays blockchain. So they can also charge
out of curiosity, I hate to interrupt you, but at this point in time, the one question in my mind that I think others might have is, this service is going to not all be connected to the blockchain, correct? You could have your own server, which is running a web service that essentially allows people to build their own tournaments and, say it's going to have 16 people on each side. And then I'm going to promote it on social media from this site and using this link that's given. And these are essentially tools that are used by people who want to monetize these events, right? So is that portion going to be on the blockchain, or is that something that they would be running their own third-party servers that would hit against the blockchain just for the payments?
Sure. So there's two aspects of the tournament management platform. A tournament management platform on Peerplays, the custom tournament management platform, will allow third parties to become a registrar for a tournament. So you had these sites would have their own Peerplays account, and that account would become a registrar for a tournament on the blockchain. You would set a number of different parameters, including the start time of the tournament, whether I'm sorry, I don't have the document in front of me what all those parameters are. Maybe I can
put those
I can
parameters
answer this
in
question.
essentially.
It's exactly, and the tournament management. If you look up tournament management server-side hosting software and look at a lot of the tools that are available, as it's specifically the tournament brackets, for example, putting players into brackets. All that the two main aspects we will have is the ability to build brackets, register players, have players send their tokens, and the only thing that the server is doing is pinging, as the registrar, is pinging the blockchain and saying this is the winner of the round or this is the winner of the tournament. So, again, which is a trusted model on server-side tournament hosting. So we have sort of a dual aspect here with Peerplays, right? We have the ability to do fully on-chain games in simpler games, games of casino card games, a lot of different two-player games,
Battle chess.
Things like, there is some difficulty with doing certain games of skill, for example, like chess, just regular chess, because of the reality that bots would absolutely rule the roost. There wouldn't be really any fair gameplay.
Sure.
I think even Bobby Fischer was beaten by a computer bot. So there's a balance that needs to be struck, and there's a number of different parameters and theories and ways, but nevertheless, there are thousands upon thousands of existing games, that will very easily be able to be programmed into the blockchain with just a handful of specific operations. A little bit of this is outlined in the white paper. But essentially, we have that, and then we also have the ability for third parties to host the more complex games. Things like StarCraft or any of the esports tournament, the large esports tournament games, popular games, and anything else. Ultimately, it doesn't need to be that. Third parties can host simple games on their servers as well. Any game in the world can be hosted on a third-party server. So building a tournament hosting platform, as the registrar to a tournament of a custom tournament on Peerplays, you can charge an extra arbitrary admin fee, similar to if you go on eBay and you buy something, or if you've ever sold anything on eBay, you'll notice that they allow you to add a shipping and handling fee, but that fee then becomes built into the cost of the actual item you're selling. So that becomes your price point. In other words, what you're going out there and advertising to people. It doesn't say we're charging you all this extra money for this or that. It just becomes built into the price. So Peerplays will allow third parties to do that in order to support as another revenue source, revenue generating source. And of course, like I mentioned before, third parties can also have their own sponsored jackpots, where they can just submit the entire jackpot, transfer the entire jackpot to the smart contract, and then pull people into the platform and do promotions and things like that. So moving on from this, I want to sort of get through these points before I take too long, because I don't want to occupy a whole hour here or anything. So we've got the referral program, which is very similar to the BitShares referral program, which takes a percentage of the fees, and these are all amounts that will be discussed and set by the committee as well. By the percentage of fees paid by every account will flow, back upstream, so to speak, to the referrer of that account. And then the rest of the fees will go to the network to be split out into, as I mentioned earlier, into the three main areas where they're split. So that referral program, of course, will also be a major incentive for third parties to be able to sort of migrate their user bases to Peerplays, or even offer Peerplays, as an option.
Definitely.
and get and get you get kickbacks for the whole life of the user, the whole life of the user account. So if someone comes on and they're spending lots of money and they're like everyone does when they play tournaments, anyone who goes online and gaming, they're going to spend assets, they're going to spend money, or they're going to spend tokens, and you're going to continue to get a portion of those tokens, unless and again, like BitShares, unless they choose to upgrade their own account into a refer, in which case you're still going to get a one-time, a nice hefty one-time referral fee that's paid as a portion of that upgrade fee that other refer. So for anyone who's listening to this, I afterwards, after this hangout, a lot of what we're talking about now is very BitShares specific, and it does require a good deal of background information. I would suggest the best place to go right off the bat to kind of familiarize yourself with Graphene and all the features that currently exist on BitShares is just to go to bitshares.org. There's a lot of great information on that there, I think most of which was written by or at least a good portion of which was written by the BitShares lead developer, Dan Larimer. So yeah, check all that out if any of this is confusing you. And I apologize if I'm not sort of presenting this in the most easy to understand manner, but
You're doing fine. Out of curiosity, Xerox is another person who's working with you guys as well, right?
Yes, he is.
And he is the one who wrote the documentation. So that is, what is the website? wiki.bitshares.eu?
Yes, I believe so. I'll double check that, and we can put the link in here. Maybe you can look that up, Fuzzy, and throw the link in the sidebar if you have a moment. Yes, that is true, and thank you for bringing that up, Fuzzy. Xerox has written a good deal of the documentation on the Graphene platform itself. So if you're looking for more technical documentation, you can go to this site that I'll say the name of it again in a moment once Fuzzy digs that link up. But I think it's BitShares. What did you say, Fuzzy?
It's not wiki. It used to be wiki, but it's docs.bitshares.eu. Awesome. I am sending it right now.
Okay, so moving forward, we're talking still about ways to make money with Peerplays on the Peerplays network. And the next major area for opportunities for both individual players and tournament hosting partners is as gateway token providers. So Peerplays will have the same UIA functions, user issue asset functions, as BitShares, which basically the main function that you need to understand gateways is that the issuer of the asset can set all of the fees for trading that asset and for transferring that asset. And so gateway asset providers can operate a business of providing a token, a trusted provider of a off-chain token, and issuing a representative asset of that token on the exchange, and then allowing people to trade and utilize that asset on the blockchain. And then when they want to go off blockchain and cash in, so to speak, cash in their chips, then they go back to that gateway provider, and that gateway provider transfers them the actual asset, whatever that asset may be. Gateways can be used are currently used for just about every type of crypto token on both the BitShares exchange and other exchanges, exchanges like NXT and on blockchain, on-chain exchanges. Also for fiat assets is another common way that gateway tokens are used to get into exchanges and out of exchanges. And in this case, for Peerplays, there's also a huge opportunity for in-game merchandise. So many of these multiplayer online RPG style games are filled with in-game assets that are valuable, that take a long time to acquire, or that take certain skills or certain abilities to acquire. And there's actually quite a robust markets in different areas for these particular assets. And of course, they're all they're all scattered in many different areas for many different values. But in this case, players or someone who wants to run a business can develop a storefront and be a gateway provider and have, in-game assets that they're able to facilitate the transfer of to and from gateway tokens on Peerplays. And what that means then is that people can use these in-game assets as wagers for jackpots, and so they can take these gateway tokens and when the tournament is set up, the tournament parameters are set up. It can require any specific specified tokens as the buy-in fees, and players can go on and say, okay, everyone throws into the pot, and we play the game, and the winner gets all of these tokens and all these assets, and then they can go back to the gateway provider and quote unquote cash in these assets and get all of these new cool items on their game in game, or they could sell them or trade them on the asset exchange on Peerplays. So there's the ability to develop a blockchain based exchange for on-game assets combined with the ability to wager and wager those assets in games. So that's really, really cool. I want to add to just to sort of reiterate that all of these features that I'm talking about, many of the functions and operations on Peerplays will require some sort of fee. The fees will all be sort of determined by the committee, and certain things will have less fees, to reduce barriers of entries and things like that. But all of these fees will be distributed to the holders of the core tokens, of the core Peerplays tokens. So there's really a really good value proposition in the core tokens of Peerplays. So another gateway, another type of gateway is sidechain gateways, and that's coming a little bit farther down the road. We do have a really solid plan for putting together graphene to graphene sidechains, and that's part of our development budget. And so that's really interesting concept, and I'm not going to elaborate on sidechains right now, partially because I'm not fully technically qualified, and partially because it's just a really long discussion. So, but I'll just mention that in terms of gateway tokens, there also will be sidechain gateways, which are essentially just a more trustless way to get into and out of the exchange. They don't require a counterparty. Like user issue asset gateways do. So another aspect is that players will be we're kind of theorizing at this stage that players will be likely to be inclined to keep their assets in their Peerplays wallets or clients and not be selling or trading the core asset a lot on external exchanges, unless external exchanges offer them the service of sharing the profit sharing distributions with them. Some of the exchanges have offered sort of extra services for certain things in the past, like for share dropping, for example. I know exchanges like BTER and I think some others have offered to, go ahead and keep your token on our exchange and we'll share whatever comes our way that comes with the ownership of that token, right? So that may happen, but nevertheless, there's always risk involved in that too. And so I think, we think that the trend is going to be more towards people keeping their tokens on the exchange, so that, or on Peerplays, in their private keys, keeping their private keys in their own possession, in other words, so that they can directly receive those profit sharing payouts as they happen. And because of that, there's a couple benefits to that. One of that is that the security of the network, theoretically will be improved because of that. Because at the very least, there won't be sort of external third-party custodians that are holding huge amounts of the core tokens, the voting tokens. The core tokens are involved in voting.
It's definitely one risk that would be minimized.
Would be minimized a bit. And the other one is that it's also going to make gateway tokens a lot more important to the Peerplays network. So there's going to be a lot of incentive and a lot of opportunity for people to develop reputations and reputable, trusted gateway tokens. So the other thing we're going to just to add at the end of this sort of gateway discussion is that the Peerplays will not have a committee-controlled smart coin account, which means that there won't be any committee-controlled. There won't be any network-issued bid assets on Peerplays. However, that said, we will be including the private or privatized ability for individuals to create user-issued assets and publish price feeds and develop their own models for creating private bid assets. So there's still that functionality will still be there, but it won't be dependent on the core token as a collateral instrument for bid assets. And so because of that, there's also less of a need for developing an externalized way of discovering the value of the core token, like BitShares is sort of still dipped on. Because in BitShares, the witnesses publish price feeds that are based on all these externalized markets for the BTS token. So that is sort of another aspect that ties into the reality of that. Okay, so just the last two sort of areas in which you can make money on BitShares. I'm sorry, on Peerplays. The first one is running a witness node. Witnesses will be paid per block. And we're developing a hybridized way to bootstrap this. There's going to be a small amount of tokens. I forgot to mention in the beginning, there's not going to be any dilution of the Peerplays core token. However, there will be a bootstrapping arbitrary amount that we determine in order to pay witnesses for a period of time, after which the witnesses will have their own profit-sharing distribution smart contract that takes a portion of the fees and pays the witnesses with the fees that are levied as the rake fees and all the other network fees. So essentially, it will be building towards the witnesses, paying the witnesses, paying for the maintenance of the network through witnesses by diverting a portion of the fees that the network is actually making. So
to the witnesses.
To the witnesses themselves, exactly. And so but however, in the beginning, it's still going to be, I think what does BitShares pay their witnesses now? $300 or $400 worth of BTS a month, in order to run their VPS nodes and give them incentive to. I mean, it is kind of a hassle sometimes, depending on what's going on. That this code is just being developed. There's bugs. There needs to be hard forks. There's some work that needs to be put in there, and so that work, of course, deserves compensation and needs to be compensated to attract the right sort of breed of individual to want the position, so to speak. And so because of that, we're going to have I think what it'll probably be is a pool. What does BitShares call it? The reserve pool. It'll be a reserve pool, but it'll be hard coded that there's no worker contracts. The only thing that reserve pool will be used for is for paying witnesses X tokens, whatever that is. That parameter will be set by the committee, and that reserve pool, once that reserve pool is out, or once the committee chooses to stop using that reserve pool and begin to divert, enough money or enough value is coming in through the fees that can be cut off, and then that's the end of that. So then it'll be a fixed tokens from that point on, a fixed amount of core tokens. So, and then finally,
it's an interesting way to do it.
Yeah, everything that we worked into this design, and this was the result of I don't know, about almost 4 months here of planning and designing, was to develop a DAC, and I know that's kind of that's thrown around all over the place, but the reality is there's things we can do now with this technology and there's really we've got the tools. We've got the majority of the tools. A good deal of what we're doing, we're building on a platform. A lot of the code has been written, and it works, and we've seen it work, and we've sort of seen the implications of it economically. And so we are very grateful. And I actually. At least 3 of the members of our team, I haven't spoken to a couple of them regarding this, but at least 3 of the members of our team that I know of were Angel Shares contributors, for the BitShares project roughly 2 years ago. So, we all feel part of this community. We've all been behind developing, whether through our own resources or whether developing time and donating time and money to the BitShares project, to develop these tools so that we can all build, platforms that in increasing levels of complexity and usefulness. And so this is why we're really excited about this, because this is going to be a truly next generation platform, and we're talking about a demographic that's just absolutely astronomical, and even capturing a very, very small corner of that demographic is going to be able to reap huge benefits for specifically for.
Are you preparing for any kind of regulatory influx or a scrutiny by the regulatory agencies should this take off big time?
Yes, we have consulted with a legal counsel in a few different places. We are at this stage. I think that the way to answer that question would be to say that we, first of all, like I said last week, we take all of our own the implications of what we're doing, what Bunker Chain Labs is what their part of it in it is, and our developers and everyone else very seriously in order to insulate ourselves. The other aspect is designing the platform itself so that specifically the witnesses and the committee members and things and the sort of operatives within the DAC are insulated. A lot of that groundwork was laid very, very brilliantly by Cryptonomics in designing Graphene, designing the delegated proof of stake protocol that splits up the responsibilities of the different actors within a Graphene ecosystem. But furthermore, I am not qualified to answer any questions in terms of whether something is legal or not, because the reality is there are so many laws in so many jurisdictions all around the world.
I don't know
there's
that
so
anybody
many
truly is.
Yeah, no,
exactly right.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that moving forward, there will be issues. I'm sure that people will have questions that people will have.
I think you've addressed the point really well in saying that most of the groundwork was laid by Cryptonomics, because if you've studied BitShares at all, you understand the rationale and the reasons for why they did what they did in changing the architecture in BitShares 2.0. So I think you answered my question quite well, Crypto. I think that's really good.
Great. Well, at this stage, I actually I've got a few more minutes here. I got to go at about 11:30, which is in about 10 minutes. But if anyone else has any other questions, feel free to.
Speaking of the questions, Taconator here asks, question for Cryptoprometheus, please. As I understand it, third-party sites will be able to access the blockchain indirectly through the Peerplays.com web API. But won't it also be possible for third parties to access the blockchain directly via the blockchain API?
I believe the answer to that question is yes. I'm not the technical lead, so I don't know if Jonathan can answer that question better than I can, but it seems I believe it seems to me that is how I believe that we're setting it up on the information that I understand. Yes, well, let me put it this way. BitShares, anyone can access the BitShares blockchain through the blockchain API. So anything can be accessed through the blockchain API. As far as web API goes, I'm not really sure. I don't understand the technical architecture at that level to really be able to answer that question thoroughly.
And Moritz answers here, the third parties need to interface with the blockchain. So it seems that would be a yes. And Moritz, do you have information regarding APIs? I mean, you seem like you have a little bit of an understanding of it that might be valuable to this discussion. Would you like to offer your input?
Not really. I played around a little bit with Python Graphene lib and with the Graphene API. It's just a little bit of a logic that third parties also need to talk to the blockchain. Otherwise, the whole decentralized aspect wouldn't be there. So
good point.
That's why I thought it's pretty obvious that you can also talk directly to the blockchain, seeing as it's based on Graphene.
Yeah, I believe that's how Roadscape has set up CryptoFresh.com. I remember talking to him months back, and I just briefly remember part of what he was working on at that stage was interfacing everything directly with the blockchain through the API. So yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty standard in terms of how it works on a technical level.
So how about my idea that BitShares lifetime members get some kind of special deal for the referral program?
I can't comment on any promotional offerings at this stage. We are working to develop a number, or to put together a number of different incentives and offerings that will be beneficial to the BitShares community, and also ones that will be sort of outreach initiatives. So I don't want to, I don't want to say, yeah, that's a good idea, or yeah, we should do that, because I'm not really authorized to make those type of statements. We've got a marketing team, and but to answer your question in a more broad sense, yes, we are working to figure out some incentives that will help to strengthen our ties between the communities that are sort of our home bases, specifically with all of you in the BitShares community, so yeah.
I'm also wondering if this could be another way to onboard people into crypto like Steem does. If people could get involved without having to buy Bitcoin by maybe the mega jackpots being distributed by some of the gateways to get new users on board, again, without them having to buy Bitcoin in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Not specifically with mega jackpots, because those are fully organized and controlled by the smart contract on the blockchain. But if you just mean jackpots in general, third parties can offer as a registrar, you will have the ability to supply your own jackpot. So if you want to offer promotional jackpots in order to get people to come play on your platform, or come play on Peerplays in general, that's possible to do, and that will all be a part of the gaming partner platform aspect of Peerplays. So yeah, absolutely, that's another aspect of recruiting people that are outside of crypto, or just in general, opening doors for people. I like to think of in terms of mental doors. Giving people aha moments, making it click, making people realize, oh my gosh, that's actually what's happening. So part of the GUI, the open source GUI that we'll be publishing as when the initial blockchain is launched, will have some features that will make it clear to the user. User will be able to toggle through and look at the blockchain and say, oh wow, look at that. Okay, the blocks are flying by at 1, 2, 3 seconds, and all this information is coming in, and we've got all this data, and I mean, I don't know exactly how it's going to be laid out, but the reality is that's going to be a part of it that is going to be in people's mind. It's going to be upfront. They're going to know that they're playing on the blockchain when they use the open source GUI. And of course, just like BitShares, just like OpenLedger uses right now, they just clone the basic open source GUI that's maintained by SVK and CAS and others, and they host that, and that's his, that's part of, that's not his entire business model, of course, but that's his graphic user interface. Ronnie specifically, who runs OpenLedger, and also Freedom Ledger is another site. Freedom Ledger is actually the Bunker Chain Labs has recently launched a clone of the BitShares GUI as well on freedomledger.com. And so anyway, but this is essentially what the Peerplays open source GUI will be. And then, of course, people, gaming partners can develop their own interfaces pretty much however they want and pull information off of, interact with the BitShares blockchain via the API.
Well, if anybody has any questions or comments that they'd like to speak out loud, feel free to do so. Otherwise, I'm going to dig into a couple of the comments that have been put into the chat here.
Sure, let's do two more questions here, Fuzzy. And I apologize again, but I've actually got to run here in about 5 minutes. So if you can find two of them I'm kind of reading through here myself.
Yeah, the big one for me is Dan Test, because this is a pretty smart gentleman with regard to the design of BitShares and Graphene in general. The design is such that there should be no need to do anything except talking to a blockchain node, and external servers could provide additional services similar to what CryptoFresh does for BitShares, which I'm assuming these are just web services that connect up to the blockchain and via the node and read the data from the node, what the node has stored locally, right? After syncing with the blockchain. Okay. So that's correct. I love being correct. Sometimes I'm wrong, so feel free to let me know if there's any discrepancies there.
All right, so I've got...
Oh, sorry. There's just one question for G Chicken 2 here. He says, how many initial tokens are up for the sale in phase 1 of the ICO?
Perfect segue. Yep. So we have 200,000 tokens are up for sale for, I'm sorry, that phase 1, we have 2 phases for the this ICO, phase 1 and 2. Phase 1 will be 100,000 tokens at $2 each, and phase 2 is an additional 100,000 tokens at $3 each. There are 1 million total tokens. The 500,000 tokens will be released in an auction style ICO, which will happen after the release of the testnet and the GUI, and a whole bunch of promotion that's coming in the coming months, including worldwide and multi-language promotion. And that will be an auction-style fundraiser. So that will be a set amount of tokens. We haven't determined if it's going to be a full AGS style, meaning tokens sold every day, every 24 hours, or whether it will be a sort of total auction sale where it's just all the money collected or is then split amongst the 500,000 tokens. But in any case, that will be coming soon after the release of the, AGS style. What I meant by AGS was Angel Shares. Sorry, I use all these acronyms that are specific to the BitShares ecosystem. The Angel Shares token. Yeah, if you want to look up exactly how an AGS style token auction worked, if you're curious, the website is www.agsexplorer.com. agsexplorer.com. Yes. So that'll tell you a little bit more about that. So thank you very much, everyone, for being here and for asking great questions. And thank you again for all the support that you guys have provided so far, and yeah, we're really excited about this, and can't wait to share more with you in the weeks and months ahead. So this is Mike Maloney,
All I know, Crypto, is
signing off.
Real quick before you go signing off, I'm going to challenge you to a duel on the Peerplays platform. I'm just letting you know, man.
I'm supposed to respond to a public challenge here now, huh? Let's see.
I'm just gonna say.
Are you throwing down the gauntlet? Is that what you're doing? I bite my thumb at you, sir. I bite my thumb at you.
It is very rare in this space that we get a chance to do what one of my first passions is, which is gaming. And you're one of the people that I would definitely love to game with. And if there's a way of me challenging you and helping the BitShares ecosystem at the same time, by all means, I will do that. And I will fart in your general direction, as Kencode likes to say.
In your general direction. All right. Yep. I look forward to that. I look forward to beating you really badly, Fuzzy. All right. Take care, guys.
Well, if that happens, man, we make money.
Silly English nigget.
Does anybody else have any projects or anything that they're wanting to plug that they think is important that anybody who's listening might need to be aware of? Of course they have one.
Bring out your dead!
Not quite dead yet.
Oh, I tried. The one that I really wanted was, "'Tis but a flesh wound." Yeah, and just so anybody here knows, if you guys have crypto communities or anything that you feel is important that's going on that should be covered by Beyond Bitcoin, please post that stuff under Steem under the Beyond Bitcoin heading, and I will go through and make sure to upvote it with the stake that I have early on. I would really like to help benefit those who are bringing valuable content from the cryptosphere, from their own communities, to kind of really teach one another about these technologies and what we're all doing in the space. And if I can help to give people a little bit of funding by upvoting them, I've noticed that my upvotes give like $150 to $200 to posts currently. I mean, I will gladly upvote the content that is under Beyond Bitcoin heading, and I will even look into covering some of it in these hangouts in the future. The Steem platform is opening up a lot of opportunities for me, and I'm just foaming at the mouth nowadays.
Does anybody know if you're posting or upvoting on Steem with just the initial 10 Steem you get from logging in with Facebook? Does that have any impact, or do you really have to have more stake for your feedback and contributions to matter?
I can address that degree. I've fallen into that category quite well. I just made my first reply. A reply doesn't count as much as an original piece of content, but I just have the initial wallet faucet amount, and I got less than the other poster that replied ahead of me, and that amounts to 0, at least as far as what was what the amount was that was posted. So it doesn't count for very much, but you got to start somewhere.
How it works is that if you go on there with 10 Steem, right, you don't have a whole lot of voting power, which means that if you go and you find a post and you upvote it, you're not going to affect the ranking of that post that much. However, over time, if you choose, let's say you upvoted a Beyond Bitcoin post, and then I see it and a bunch of other people see it, and they upvote it afterwards, and it becomes one of the more trending topics. Now you're going to, because you identified that, you're going to get rewarded more of the percentage of the rewards because you were among the first people to upvote it. It doesn't mean that your stake is going to really do anything as far as upping it at that point in time. But if you pick it before other people, you're going to get a pretty good stake anyway as a payout, which you can then turn around and buy Steem power with, which is replacing Steem vests and is used as the voting power mechanism. So the voting is really where the curation is what we call it essentially. And participating in that curation market, you are going to be rewarded if you find the tokens that are among the top. Now, if you post something, that voting weight has no bearing on how valuable that post is. All that has a bearing on how valuable that post is how many people upvote it compared to downvoting it, and the relative weight of each vote.
Thank you, Fuzzy.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I will gladly, like I said, if you guys find content that is in the cryptosphere and you post it on Beyond Bitcoin, I know that I am going to be personally upvoting a lot of that stuff first because it promotes what we're doing here. And it also helps to fund you guys for covering this stuff. And at the same time, the stuff that finds its way to the top of the Beyond Bitcoin trending list, I will know are topics that are very valuable for me to cover and for us to talk about. This is also a potential, if somebody posts a white paper for something amazing, and it gets upvoted, then I can say, well, I need to probably reach out to their community and bring them on to talk about what they're doing because there's obviously a lot of interest. And then all of you could, be there and to upvote the hangout afterwards, because that if all of you are upvoting the hangout, that it's going to be one of the trending things and you're going to get a cut in that. So it works as a synergistic relationship where it works to help everybody in a 360 way, as long as, we're not, I'm not upvoting pictures of stacked rocks under Beyond Bitcoin.
They're called cairns, and some people really like them.
What value do they have to society, though? That's the bottom line, in my view, is there's a lot of stuff like this that will trend and get really popular. It's like pet rocks. It's that kind of value to society. And I myself would like to endorse things that do have value to society. Now, I'm not discounting the fact that there's artistic characteristics that might actually have value to some people in society. But I don't know. That to me seems like it's stretching it. But, it is very subjective, and that's what this is all about, is subjective content. So if there's a huge group of people that like to take pictures of stacked rocks and post them, well, let them win from that. And apparently that's what's going on.
Oh, definitely. But what I think you're going to see different camps, essentially, who find different topics more important than others, and they will work together to upvote those topics. You might have a group of people who are cancer survivors who say, you know what, dang it, we want to make sure that all of the cancer stuff is upvoted, and we're going to give away half of what our little cancer upvoting group upvotes this stuff and how much we make from it to help find solutions to solve this problem for humanity. So you might have all kinds of stuff. There might be the Rock Stackers Collectors Club, because they know that this is an actually very valuable means of communication in some places in the world. And it's an art considered. These are things that, you're saying subjective value, and I 100% agree. And I think that the cool thing about the Steem ecosystem is that you're going to have communities that are going to have to essentially work together to upvote the things that they think are the most valuable, because otherwise they might live in fear that, there will be things that they feel are not valuable that will be uplifted instead. So there's multiple incentives to upvote and to work together to upvote content that moves forward and an agenda that people feel is beneficial to them. Oh, Kencode knows his Monty Python. Well, does anybody have anything that they would like to talk about before we close this up for the day, or do you guys want to not close it up for the day? There's some stuff going on in the solar coin area, but I reached out to them during this hangout and asked them if they were interested in talking today. They basically told me that they would like to listen in, see how this process goes before getting too deep into any of the projects that they're working on. But I really want to I appreciate all of you guys joining today. This is something that it's only going to continue growing, especially now that I'm going to start reaching out to other cryptocurrency communities. And the best thing to me is bringing people together who are passionate about this subject so they can build Voltron. If I can cover that and I can get a little bit of funding on Steem from it, I can do wonders to promote these projects as well. So let's work together on this stuff and know that if you guys have other coins or other projects that are really cool, bring them on, guys. Bring them on, and we can work together to help you guys to get something in return for it. Yeah, I'd love it, Kencode. The smart coins POS systems. All I know is that you were talking about free connection to pretty much any cryptocurrency for through the POS systems.
Yeah, let me dig you up a picture real quick. I got some screenshots. We got the videos are all up on our YouTube channel, on BitShares Munich YouTube channel, but I'm going to try to find you that image. It's better to look at the close-ups and stuff.
So you're getting a link, you said?
Yeah, here you go. That'll kind of give you an idea right there of what the main screen is for the merchant. And our Odoo systems work the same way. Right now we've got 2 point-of-sale systems done. We've got a standalone system for small business that don't really have like a full-fledged point-of-sale system like Odoo or SAP or a QuickBooks point-of-sale or anything like that. So for really small businesses, the standalone system is great because all you need is like you just need an old or an old cell phone or an old tablet, and you just install the free app, and then you just when the customer wants to pay with a crypto, like Ethereum or Dash or Dogecoin or BitShares, Smart Coins or Bitcoin or whatever they got, all the cashier has to do is just tap on that particular coin, and then it gives them a QR code. The customer scans it with their Mycelium wallet or whatever wallet they have, and the few cents that usually gets charged to the merchant for the network fee gets charged to the user, so the merchant doesn't have to pay anything. So there's no fees for, like what you would typically pay as a merchant. You got to pay BitPay, like 1%. So really, this is like a very, very simple way for merchants to start accepting any cryptocurrency without having to pick the right coin and worrying about if their exchange getting hacked or price volatility of the coin or anything. So yeah, Tom, go ahead.
When you that process you just described where the fees are kind of charged back to the customer, how does the merchant advertise a price if that happens? I mean, is there any kind of surprise from the customer standpoint, or is it the amount so small that it doesn't matter, or to where they wouldn't care that 2 or 3 cents or something like that is added to what the price that the merchant advertises, and so the buyer doesn't really notice so much, or how does that work exactly?
Yeah, I'm going to give you another screenshot here real quick. I think I uploaded it. Wait one sec. No, I guess I didn't upload that one to Imager. Okay, well, basically, wait, where is that stupid picture? Oh, here it is. Wait, one sec. Okay, check this out. Okay, so that one right there is an example of the standalone POS system. integrated systems like Odoo and SAP and Verifone and so on, they work the same way. It basically just shows the customer the QR code with the price that's due. So if the merchant enters in, or the cashier enters in $10 or something, then the price displayed to the customer is $10.03 or something, or whatever, whatever it's going to be for the customer at that moment. And just underneath of the price, if you look in that picture, it shows in print the amount that the cashier typed in, plus the 3-cent network fee. So, and one cool thing too is now that BitShares has this rate limited free transactions thing coming up. That should make it even cheaper for the customers. So, of course, Bitcoin people, they have to pay. God, what is the fees have actually gone up, haven't they?
I guess what you're saying, I can't really see it in the picture that you sent, but I guess what you're saying is underneath the big, huge price, it is easy to read, is the amount that is going to be charged as a fee that would be added on to that price that would be charged to their wallet. Is that how that works?
Yep, exactly. And that's the QR code itself is a version 10 QR code, so it holds tons of data. So if you're doing some grocery shopping and you've got like a mile-long grocery receipt, you bought like $400 in groceries or something like that. That's all stored in a JSON file, and then we compress and encrypt it, and throw it, base 58 encode it, and then that generates the QR code, and then the customer generates that QR code, and now they actually have a PDF receipt automatically on their phone of their entire grocery receipt. So merchants don't have to print out any paper receipts anymore unless they want to. But this also makes accounting really easy. So when you go to pay your taxes and stuff like that, all you got to do is just use your wallet to send off all your PDF receipts to your accountant. But I always get off track. Did that answer your question, Tom?
Yeah, it answered it well.
Hey, Ken, if I go to Las Vegas and I approach merchants who are already accepting Bitcoin, but show them your system in which they won't have to pay any fees, what economic incentive is there for me to do that if they're not buying any hardware, if they're just using your software?
Good question. Because it doesn't cost them anything. So really, I mean, it's good to talk about it because it gets crypto into the hands of businesses and get us one step closer to mass adoption. But unless you're an OpenPOS holder, you're not going to get any rewards from the Odoo systems. But one thing that Chris and I have been talking about, and Rigo and the guys here at BitShares Munich, is possibly doing some kind of an IPO in the future so that basically all of these integrations that we do in the future with SAP and Verifone and Intuit and so on, that the people who invest in the company BitShares Munich can now just get rewarded from being a hodler. You know what I mean? So, because right now our original plan was just like, you know what? Let's just make separate tokens for every single integration do. But the problem with that is, if you're an investor, it's like, well, now I have to choose the winner. Like, is this point of sale system going to get adopted or not? Even though Odoo has over 50,000 retail chains using their software, that doesn't guarantee mass adoption, or the OpenPOS holders are going to be getting any kind of a reward for holding that token. So I think the smartest way for us to move forward as far as growing our company is maybe in a couple of months doing some sort of an ICO or ITO or IPO or whatever you want to call it, something like that. So you don't have to choose the right POS system or the right wallet or the right app that we're developing, like Echo and these other projects. Because we got so many different projects going now, and Stealth and all this stuff. So it's like, this invest in the company so that these projects can be funded. And then, like Apple, would you invest in Apple or would you just invest in one particular iPhone brand or iPhone model? So it's a lot easier to just invest in the company, I guess. So I don't know. You got to talk to Chris about all that financial stuff. But I thought that was a pretty darn good idea. It wasn't actually my idea either. It was somebody outside of our company.
So just real quick, for those who are holding the OpenPOS tokens, they're going to be benefiting from all this stuff. But if you guys are going to have other wallets, how do you, I guess, how do you find a way of?
Well, Fuzzy, wallets are not profitable unless people are upgrading their accounts to lifetime membership or something like that. Like our first wallet that we did, in my opinion, was just dog slow. I mean, because we have to run Apache Cordova on it, and it was all written in React and JS, which I love. But the problem is running that server on your phone just brings it to a crawl. So, I mean, at least on my phone, some people said they didn't have any slowness issues, but whatever. But really, my intent was to get as many people forking our code as possible. So please, fork our code if you go to github.com/Kencode_DE. That's my GitHub page, and we keep all of our code there. So if you want to fork the BitShares wallet and just tweak the UI or something and make a whole new wallet under a different brand and everything, please do it. So the more wallets we get out there that work with point of sale systems and the e-receipts and the loyalty points systems that all of our stuff works on now. We even have overdraft protection in there. Thanks, Moritz, for posting that link.
So you see this project as gaining from the more wallets that are out there that people are able to use, the better off we're going to be.
Yeah, I suck as a designer. So honestly, man, I mean, I know my strong points and my weak points. So please fork the code and just make your own version of it. I mean, it's all up there for you. We've written all the libraries for you, and it's ready to go.
Sounds good, man.
I mean, if you go to cryptofresh.com and you look at the homepage, and on the left-hand side, you've got all the referral things on the left there. The referral accounts or whatever, the referrals.
Yeah.
BitShares Munich jumped up real high in that list because BitShares Munich is used as the referral account every time somebody creates a new account in a wallet. So if you want to start getting referrals, which is, what is it, Fuzzy? It's like $80 or something like that per referral. And BitShares Munich, in just like the first few weeks, got 600 and something referrals already. So, fork our code, man. Make your own version of the wallet and start getting some referrals. It's just a super easy way to start getting yourself, a nice little side income.
Definitely. I guess my question that I was asking would be more from the perspective of OpenPOS holders.
Yeah, OpenPOS holders are getting rewarded from the POS system, from Odoo, not from the wallet. Yeah. The wallet, the wallet doesn't generate any kind of income or anything. It's just a referrals machine, basically, to bring people into our ecosystem.
And you're saying essentially the POS system is going to just gain from every wallet that comes out that allows people to spend with it.
Well, exactly. And this is why I designed the POS system so open like this, so that merchants... See, I did a lot of research, like before we even started this thing with the POS systems, because why is Bitcoin not really being accepted at merchants like it should be? Why is it not getting any kind of traction? And why are some merchants, even the one merchant here that we have here in Munich that was accepting Bitcoin, stopped accepting Bitcoin? And we come to find out, though, that because of all those things that I mentioned earlier, because there's no... because of the volatility, they got to pay 1% to BitPay. The customers are sitting there fumbling around with their phone all day trying to figure, just do this, and the cashier doesn't have time for that, especially when you start looking at it, and this was just in a small bar. But if you start looking at a retail environment or a grocery store where you need to have transactions going through like every 10 to 15 seconds, man, you cannot spend more than 8 seconds. A cash transaction takes, on average, 8 seconds. That's what we figured out. So, and this is why I designed another native Android wallet too, because you need something that's super fast. Why would a merchant want to start accepting crypto? Because it's faster, because it's safer, because they don't have to pay any fees, because it's already integrated with the system that they already use. This is why. And these are all the things that Bitcoin did not solve. They weren't solving any of these problems. And now Bitcoin's just slower and crap, so it's like, it didn't really kind of help the situation with Bitcoin, but, still, man.
What do you think's going to happen in July with Bitcoin?
Well, the price is going to probably pop, and then it's going to restabilize probably around $500. That's my guess. The thing is,
it's a guess. It's an interesting segue. I've heard some analysis of it, and I can see where it will stabilize, and it's not going to go to the floor. It's not going to go to the ceiling. I really think it will stabilize. I think there's too many people with big money at stake to let it, change too rapidly. That it's not decentralized enough to where the people that have a big investment can't more or less nudge it and move it in the direction they want to see it move.
Well, guys, is there anything else that you guys would like to cover, or are we pretty much good for the day?
I'm done yapping for the day, Fuzzy. I really got to get back to work.
Well, I appreciate you guys all showing up. If there's anybody else who feels like we've not covered something that's important that they've been trying to get out, please let me know. We can add an extra 5-10 minutes to that to cover it.
I don't know if there's anybody here that would have any information about this, but I'll throw it out there anyways, just in case. As a witness on the BitShares network, apparently there was some issues this week with regard to connections not being accepted by seed nodes. Is anybody aware of this or have any input on that?
I noticed it, but I don't know. I don't have any input on it.
All right, I wasn't sure. It looks like from the list of people that are here, there's too many that are witnesses, so I just thought I'd throw it out there to confirm. Bytemaster, I was going to ask him, but there was no gap in the conversation that was appropriate for it.
Yeah, this will happen a little bit more. We're going to solidify the format, I think, a little bit using Steem and posting questions and comments and things to discuss for the next hangout on Steem. So I think that's what we're going to be doing, and I think you'll see the format will start solidifying a little bit more as other people start joining up and upvoting comments and stuff like that.
Do you think the Steem platform can work as a forum replacement, guys?
Oh, definitely.
We need to make it do that.
Well, it would certainly be a welcome change if it works better. I haven't spent the time I need to, I guess, to really get comfortable or to really understand the Steem interface really well. But my gut tells me it could be made to work because there's nothing magical about the form. It's just that we've grown accustomed to it and comfortable with it in the way that it works. So if conversations can be organized, and shoot, I'll be the first to admit that when it comes to organization on the forum, it's really difficult, and maybe we can get Abe to move over there and help organize things if that's what it takes. But I'm hoping that it'll self-organize in a better fashion than what it does in the BitShares talk.
I actually think that you're not going to have a whole lot of organization that happens by any central entity or group of people. It's going to be more of a group of people who are going to do it over time. You're going to see a whole spectrum of coverage of all kinds of things. I guarantee you sex will show up there. You don't know
it's only
what
natural.
else. I mean, if you guys have looked at Reddit has some dark sections, some weird sections, some dirty sections. I mean, they cover everything, baby. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you for your time. We're sitting at 1 hour and 43 minutes. I can cut this down to probably about 1 hour and 30 minutes. But if you guys have any content, let me know. I will gladly start advertising it during the Beyond Bitcoin Hangouts or adding it on to the Hangouts that are post-production. So just let me know. These are opportunities that are available, and I'm looking for people who want to work with us on it.
Thanks for the time, Fuzzy. Appreciate it.
That's what we're here for you guys. So
All right,
no worries,
guys,
man.
take care now. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.
Bye, everybody.